Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over the Republican primary poll out of the state of Oklahoma for its open gubernatorial race. And it finds that Drummond, the Republican's, leading Walters as a credible second. So, with the Republican gubernatorial primary election a year away, Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond is the clear leader in a crowded GOP field, but susceptible to a runoff challenge from State Superintendent of Public Instruction Ryan Walters, a recent polling shows. In a report released Wednesday, longtime Oklahoma City pollster Pat McFerrin said Drummond's approval rating, net approval, and voter preference share are far ahead of the six others announced and unannounced GOP candidates to succeed term-limited Governor Kevin Stitt. But McFerrin also said the controversial Walters remains a strong factor, even though he has not yet actually entered the race, and that Walters could be particularly formidable in a runoff. McFerrin's analysis is based on a survey of 500 registered Republican likely primary voters conducted between May 5th and May 9th. Drummond's highest negative comes from those who intend to vote for Ryan Walters, perhaps shedding light on where the division in the Republican primary may appear. Among this group, 31% have a favorable view, while 38% view the AG in a negative manner. When presented a slate of 7 potential GOP candidates, Drummond was the choice of 39%, compared to Walters' 12% and the Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell's 10%. When the poll respondents were asked for their second choice, Pinnell, who is not an announced candidate, got the most nods at 20%, 31% were undecided on their favorite for governor, which means Drummond is backed by a majority of those who have decided. Drummond was viewed favorably by 53% of all those surveyed, the highest since McFerrin began asking the question in 2018, and up from 49% in February. He was viewed unfavorably by 17%, also up 4 points since February, for a net favorability rating of 36%. Walters was viewed favorably by 37% of Republicans and unfavorably by the same share. Walters' favorable rating was the highest since McFerrin began polling on him in 2022. Walters' 0 net approval rating is a 6-point improvement since February, but 13 points lower than when he entered the race or entered office in January of 2023. Walters is viewed most favorably by those self-identifying as Trump Republicans, among whom he leads Drummond 45 to 34, and by those who have voted in each of the last 5 Republican primaries. Of those 5 for 5 Republicans, McFerrin writes, when asked how they would vote in any election involving Ryan Walters, 44% said they would vote for him, identical to the 44% who said they would vote against him. In a lower turnout runoff election, that dedicated support could be enough to eke out a victory. Still, 33% say they would definitely vote against him, with only 15% definitely voting for him, so it will be difficult. In the current world of low turnout elections, however, it would be a mistake to discount Ryan Walters as a political force and possible nominee. As a side note to McFerrin's report, Walters is strongly backed by Oklahoma Republican Party officers who have appeared with him at several recent events. Oklahoma has not come close to electing a Democratic governor since Brad Henry's 2006 re-election, and McFerrin expects that trend to continue in 2026. Thus, the Republican primary and runoff, if needed, likely will determine who will be the next governor of Oklahoma. Less than half of those surveyed expressed an opinion on any of the potential candidates other than Drummond and Walters. To be certain, this contest is still in the early stages, McFerrin concluded. Many will point to the fact that at this stage in 2017, nobody knew who Kevin Stitt was. Stitt being, of course, the current governor. McFerrin says Stitt passed the better-known Todd Lamb and Mick Cornett more by winning over undecided voters than by converting Lamb and Cornett supporters. None of those major candidates were as strong then as Drummond is today. Neither Cornett nor Lamb saw their support decrease during Stitt's ascent, given how close Drummond is to 50%, meant that 2026 is different than 2018. And just to show you again, it goes over, the poll says, if the election were governor for held today, who would you be voting for if the candidates were Gentner Drummond, 39%, Ryan Walters, 12%, Matt Pinnell, 10%, Charles McCall, 5%, Chip Keating, 3%, Jake Merrick, 1%, Mike Mazzei, 1%, undecided, 31%. So a very large number of people are undecided in this election. This is a very interesting one because Oklahoma doesn't get talked about too much because at the presidential level, make no mistake, Oklahoma is a safe Republican state. It just voted for Donald Trump by 34.3% in 2024. It voted for Trump by 33 points in 2020 and voted for Trump by 36.4% in 2016. And in Oklahoma, only 2 counties in the entire state did not vote by over 15% for Donald Trump, being Oklahoma, this is where Oklahoma City, the capital of the state, is, and in Cleveland County, which voted for 14.9% for Donald Trump. So it was only a 1.7% win for Trump, though, in Oklahoma City. So that might be changing in 2028. Maybe this county in the city will finally go Democratic, but we'll have to wait and see. But either way, Oklahoma is a very solid Republican state. Whoever wins this primary, like the article mentioned, is almost certain going to be the next governor. In August of 2023, the Wikipedia article notes that Attorney General Gentner Drummond had raised significantly more money than other statewide officials in 2023, fueling speculation about a governor run. As we come down to today, Gentner Drummond, the Oklahoma Attorney General, is in this race, as well as the former city manager of Rio Communities, New Mexico, Lisa Mitchell-Haynes. Mike Mazzei, the former Oklahoma Secretary of Budget and former state senator, is running. Charles McCall, the former Speaker of the Oklahoma House of Representatives, is running. And Jake Merritt, former state senator from the 22nd District. As the article mentioned, Ryan Walters, the Oklahoma Superintendent of Public Instruction, all eyes are on him for what he decides to do if he joins this race or if he does not. Other potential candidates include Chip Keating, former Oklahoma Secretary of Public Safety, and son of former Governor Frank Keating, Matt Pinnell, the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Oklahoma, Case Shrum, former President of Oklahoma State University, and Greg Treat, former President pro tempore of the Oklahoma Senate. Some Republicans have declined running, including U.S. Senator James Langford, U.S. Representative Kevin Hern, and G.T. Bynum, former mayor of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So that's where things stand on the candidates that are in the race. How that goes and what happens next, we'll have to wait and see. But this race is certainly getting very interesting. And the two other polls that did not count the poll I just went over, as it just came out, I believe, like a few hours ago, so it won't be on the page just yet. Gentner Drummond has led in both the Victory Insights Republican poll and in Cole Hargrave, Snodgrass and Associates poll, where in the most recent one from towards the end of February, Drummond led 37%. The second place candidate was Charles McCall at 6%, Mazzei 1%, and Chip Keating 3%. 52% of respondents say they were undecided in that one. In the Cole Hargrave poll, it showed Drummond at 50% compared to Keating and McCall 7% when Ryan Walters' name was thrown into the mix. In that one, Drummond led 44%, Keating got 6%, McCall got 5%, Ryan Walters did get 14%. So it does seem to suggest if Walters does enter this race, he does start out solidly in second place and is likely the only real legitimate threat to Gentner Drummond winning this Republican primary and Republican nomination. Still, in that one, 32% of the vote was undecided. So if Ryan Walters got enough of the undecided vote, there is enough to make up that margin and defeat Gentner Drummond. So all eyes really, if as an objective observer, all eyes for me are on Ryan Walters and what he's able to do if he does enter this race or not. As for the Democrat side of things, Sidney Munson, the minority leader of the Oklahoma House of Representatives, is declared running for this race. But as I showed you with the election or the presidential race, I'll show you the governor's race as well. There's really not too much of a path for the Democrat to win here. Solid Republican all across the board for the predictions. We can look at the last governor's race, where in 2022, we did see Kevin Stitt win by 13.7%. So it was under 15 points, a little bit more competitive than the presidential races. Back in 2018, Stitt won by 12.1%. So maybe Oklahoma has the potential to be a little bit less Republican on the governor's side of things, but again, at the presidential level, it is a safe Republican state. As for my prediction for this race, I am starting Oklahoma out as safe Republican as of now. Again, like we saw in 2018 and 2022, it is possible that Oklahoma will go under 15 points as a likely Republican win at the governor level. But for now, it's looking like the Republicans almost guaranteed going to win this race. So I'm going to put it at safe Republican over 15% margin of victory. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. Leave a comment below, tell me your thoughts, and I hope to see you in a future video.